And we're back with Texas. Got the music going. We're gonna have maybe a surprise later. Hello, Texas. How you doing? Welcome back.
Hello, brother.
How's the
Good to
heating?
see you again, brother. The
How's the
heating's
heating?
working pretty good. You know what? Actually, it's not on tonight, but it doesn't need to be. Last couple of weeks here in Donetsk, the weather has been uh, exceptionally warm. In fact, unusually warm. It's been
For this time of year,
above.
basically.
I mean, yeah, of course. For this time of year, it's January in Russia,
Hmm.
and it's above freezing during the day and a couple of degrees below freezing at night.
It's the same here.
I mean, there's
Like unseasonably warm in Serbia for this time of year.
unseasonably warm,
What
is
people
exactly the way you could put it here.
the the going way of calling it is dyslexic weather, because you just don't
Hmm.
know what it's gonna be when you go out. Like it's sometimes it's like 1 2 degrees, and the next day it's like 18 degrees here, which is like insane.
Hmm. And
But yeah,
if you think about it, that's really got to screw with the plants, man.
well, not only the plants, it's got to screw with everything, like
I mean,
anybody
it
would,
does.
like any kind of
But the
any kind
plants
of
are what
natural
the
cycle.
basis of, yeah, exactly, any natural cycle. It's uh, it's quite disturbing, man. I'm glad that I'm 62 years old. I got to
You're
see,
62.
yeah,
You've gotten to see a lot of things. You told me a lot about the things you've done and seen in your life when we met in real life down there in Donetsk. But one of the things that I
man, shit, man, we live together.
one of the
We
things that
live
I
together.
really respected about you was your understanding of the grand picture and the good and evil, good versus evil, the fight that's been happening for a while now and that is happening currently. Tell us your opinion about what is it that on the ethereal level or the spiritual level, this war,
It's the battle
this
of evil against good, against God, against the future of humanity. It's the battle of death against life. I mean, this is the third world war right now, and it's already started.
when do you think it started?
And
Like, considering you're in your 60s, you've seen a lot. So, like in my perspective, I'd say it started with the breakup of Yugoslavia and the bombing of Belgrade. But that's subjective because
understandable. 1990, right?
yeah, 99, 91 to 99, but 99 technically would be like the beginning of the end, or the Third World War, or whatever you want to label it. Because like since then it's been like regional has been popping off everywhere, but um, it's definitely been on a low
Well,
intensity boil.
as I've said about at least the United States, which rules Europe, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, Japan.
Yeah.
With the US, I mean, it started falling off. It started going downhill in 1980 when Bush got elected with his puppet Reagan to play president for him. But George
Mhm.
H.W. Bush was president for 12 years because the 8 years that so-called Reagan presidency, you know, Reagan was the only dude that was more stupid and senile than Joe Biden. And he was, dude. He was the howdy doody of his time. And George H.W. Bush, one of the most evil dudes that ever lived, cynical, ruthless, merciless, traitor, bastard. He's one of the guys that led the assassination of John F. Kennedy in Dallas, George Herbert Walker Bush, who was actually the president. But so since
Didn't
1980, the
Granddaddy
U.S.
Bush
started
fund the
going.
Nazis? Granddaddy Bush?
Yes, that's right. That's Prescott Bush, Bush's father, or I mean, uncle, I think, but Prescott Bush, who was the senator back in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And he literally was the American banker for Fritz Thyssen, IG Farben,
Mhm.
Krupp, Steel. He was the American banker for these guys. And he was moving multi-millions, not billions back then, because back in the 1930s, $1 million is worth about what $1 billion is today. So, he was a billionaire banker working for the German Nazis back in the 1930s. And even after the United States declared war against Germany, the Nazi Germans, Prescott Bush and the Harriman brothers continued to be their financiers and do serious money moving for them.
Baerbock
So,
just declared that Europe is at war with, or Germany, I'm not sure which, is at war with Russia. So, from your perspective, when did it all start? Like, is it Vietnam? Is it before Vietnam? Is it like, Korea? Did it never stop? Did we go from World War II to
dude,
World
you know
War
what?
III directly?
Let me ask you this.
Go on.
You know who is Crazy Horse?
Yeah.
The Lakota war chief
Mhm.
of the 1800s, one of the greatest human beings that ever lived, probably my greatest hero. Um, you could ask him when it happened. Before the Civil War, already the United States, which back then was England,
Yeah.
even though, I mean, even though there was the revolution in 1776 of the U.S. against the United States, they've still been, the special relationship, as they say. They've still been like Siamese twins the whole time. And
Yeah.
the city of London, the same scumbags that committed genocide and ethnic cleansing, putting the Native Americans on reservations, which are basically like, you know, Palestine or a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Those are the same guys who they did it, you know, in South America, the Spanish, the Portuguese. It's exactly what the German Nazis were trying to follow that scenario. What they were trying to do to Russia, what the English had done to North America and the Spanish and Portuguese did to South America, which was exterminate most of them and enslave the rest, which is what we're seeing again today.
Yeah. It's a story all this time with the West, quote unquote. But do you think this West is possessed? Maybe. Do you think there are spiritual forces at play in the dark
Dude,
that are older than time?
well, time's
Is
pretty
this
old. I wouldn't say they were older than time, but they've been around for, I'd say, thousands of years. Organizations, secret societies. It's not conspiracy theory. I mean, when when you look at the dudes, the Azov soldiers that came out of
Mhm.
Azovstal who surrendered and subsequently got released and traded,
Some
which was a
of whom?
terrible
Yeah.
thing in my opinion. some of them,
Yeah.
but you see these dudes and they're like, okay, show your tattoos. And it's like, oh, here I have Hitler, the face of Hitler. Here I have swastika. Oh, on my
Mhm.
chest, I have a pentagram. On my back, I have the goat head of Baphomet or whatever,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, so, dude, all you have to do is take a hard look at reality in these days, and you understand. When you see these these drag queens in elementary schools in the United States or Europe too, I don't know, but I know for sure in the United States, when you see that and you look at these dudes, these demented, twisted, degenerate pieces of shit. And it's not because they're gay, dude. I'm not against gay people. I mean, in the early 1990s, I helped supply gay men with medical marijuana. And it was a real help to them. It was a real medicine. And I did it out of my own pocket for free. So I'm not against that gay people, of women or men. But somebody that wants to get dressed up with like a devil suit and in the clothes of another gender and go to an elementary school, I'm against that. And that's
Yeah.
taking it way, way, way too far. Way too far. I mean, so
Yeah.
far that maybe the Wagner sledgehammer needs to be involved in bringing it back to where it should be.
Yeah.
And and that's the point. Russia is the main. Okay, so I don't know if you ever seen, like, there's these pictures, and I don't know if it's Klaus Schwab,
Mhm.
but it's a dude that certainly looks a lot like him, and he's kind of a unique looking individual.
Yeah.
And he's got like this butterfly lace bathing suit with a bra and little wings on back. And he's walking
I
down
haven't
some
seen
beach
that.
somewhere. Oh,
I
dude, it's
haven't seen
horrific.
that.
But it really looks like him. And I don't know if it is or not, dude. But I don't care, because the connections between like Epstein and the kitty diddlers, the
Mhm.
pedophiles, which is way deep in Europe and America. And it's
Minor
been going on,
attracted
dude.
persons. Maps.
Well,
That's what they're called.
it's
That's the official term. That's what they want to legalize it as.
and I have a different term for it. Legitimate target.
Yeah, that's
And
people need to be calibrated. Calibrations need to happen all over the
well,
world.
and that's the thing. That's the thing that it pains me about America, is that there's millions of people there that say they understand what is going on, and many millions of them do. Not all of them that say they do, but a significant amount of those do. A significant percentage. And they got guns, and they go to the range and they shoot at paper targets, or they shoot at a picture of, Epstein or whoever as their target. Which, of course, everyone knows that Epstein didn't kill himself because he's not dead. But
You think
people
so, huh?
talk, and this is the kind of thing, man. It was another reason, like, why I get called an asshole, bro. Because, you know, people talk, but they're not willing to do anything about it. They think that, oh, I hit the angry face on Facebook emoticon, And so that makes me a rebel. I'm a revolutionary. I'm doing my part. I'm hitting angry face on Facebook. You know, you got to ask
uh,
people like, I mean, what does it really take to change the world? That's because this is what it is. It's evil attacking good, bro. Understand in the United States. Let me ask you something, bro. Let me ask you a question.
go on.
What is 10 eggs or what is a dozen eggs, chicken eggs cost
Hmm. Here?
where you're at now? Yeah.
I have no idea. Off the top of my head, I have no idea, but it's not significantly increased. Let's put it that way. It's not the new Bitcoin like it is in the U.S. Because I heard that in the U.S. the egg prices have gone through the roof.
More than 50 cents in some places, almost $1 each.
$1 each, huh? No, no, it's not that bad.
Almost. 11 for a dozen. And those are probably the good big ones,
Yeah, I got
but
a
I'm
dozen eggs,
paying,
but I didn't notice the price. Like I'm sure it wasn't more than five
of
six
course, yeah.
euro. Like for a
Dude,
dozen
here
eggs.
here it's around, it's a little more than $2. So
Yeah,
about €2 for
yeah.
10. That's tolerable.
I'd have to check, but I'm sure it's somewhere in that range. Like not more than five, six
But in the
bucks
United
for sure.
States, bro, like you said, the new Bitcoin, the egg, dude, it's basic
Yeah.
protein. And you can't live without protein.
There's been a lot of mysterious accidents at food processing plants all over the US over the past like
Hundreds, literally hundreds over the last
yeah,
several years. I mean,
years, yeah, but like I'm thinking even months, and there's been like in the
the
tens
last
or
one that I read was, I think, sometime in early 2022. And it was a mysterious fire, as they always are, and nobody's
yeah,
caught. And this one was at a chicken farm in Minnesota, a state that I used to live in. And this chicken farm was totally destroyed. And before it was destroyed, it was producing more than 3 million eggs a day for Minnesota and the Midwest. That's,
yeah.
if you're making 3 million eggs a day, dude, imagine how many semi trucks full of eggs are heading out of your place every day. And then all of a sudden, they're not anymore because the place got burned down last night and nobody knows how it happened or who did it.
Mm.
And dude, here's what I'm thinking, man. Rush, okay, about the four horsemen of the apocalypse?
I know of it vaguely. I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm intimately familiar with the
It's from
lore.
the book of Revelations in the Bible, the last
Yeah, yeah.
book, the book that tells about the future. And the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Our pestilence,
Yeah, that's right.
famine,
Sickness, famine, that's right.
and what are the other two?
Well, what do we got going on here in Ukraine, bro?
War,
That's right.
special military
And the
operation.
fourth, well, the war. Wait. No, 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 no. The war that's been going on here
For
for
eight
8 years,
years,
more
yeah.
than 8 years. Yeah,
Mm.
dude, you can't tell all the thousands of people that got killed here over the last 8 years that they only started getting killed
In
in
the last 8 months.
2022. Although,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, and I will say this, man, I've lost 11 good friends. Guys that I served at the front with, brothers, guys that I would die for, guys that I would, have shared beds and meals and spoons with. And I lost 11 of them since I've been here, and 6 of them were since the special operation started. And the other 5
Yep.
were in the 8 years before that, So, yeah, dude, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's pestilence, which is the bug and the vaccine,
Mhm.
and more so the vaccine, if you ask me. I don't have the vaccine. My wife does not have the vaccine. I had a really bad cough this year, for a couple of weeks, dude. It really, it didn't lay me down, but, I was, you know, I was expectorating copiously, shall we say.
Yep. Yep.
And, and it affected my breath, walking up and down the stairs tired me out even more than usual. So pestilence, then famine. Bro, what's going on in Europe? What's going on in the United States? And it's like there's still the food, but if you can't afford it, you don't get it.
Mm.
And then this is the road to where there isn't any food because it's all gone to the people that can afford it. And the
Yep.
people that can't afford it don't even get to see it. It's not even in the stores. It's not even available, And and then there's war. That's the third one. And the fourth horseman of the apocalypse that rides a pale horse is death, and hell follows after. That is the Bible verse right there.
Mhm.
So you look at it and it's like, okay, so pestilence, people, China, I think, I don't know, but in Europe and the United States, the proof of the
Okay.
so-called vaccine.
We lost you for a second there.
Okay.
You're saying
Well,
in the US the proof?
of the toxicity of the vaccine. I mean, a dude in his 30s, I think he was like 30 years old or 32, a
Yep.
professional elite NFL athlete fell over and died in the middle of a game, a football
Yep.
game, Monday Night Football, watched
They've
by
had to
millions nationwide.
they've had to admit it basically. No. And they
Well,
like
and
even
this is,
even
and it is the standard procedure. Everything from
Mhm.
JFK to Iran Contra to all the CIA coke smuggling to the CIA heroin smuggling during Vietnam to, 9/11 to the WMDs in Iraq. Yeah, 5 or 10 years later, they admit, yeah, we screwed up. Whoopsie doodle. What are you going to do about it now? Nobody ever gets punished, held accountable in any degree. And so they get away with it. They not only do it, then they admit it and rub it in your face.
Yep.
And then they get away with it because nobody does anything.
We came, he
You
saw
know,
we came, we saw he died. Ha 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 ha.
Hillary
Hillary.
Clinton,
Yeah.
very funny. Who, 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 I mean, Muammar Gaddafi was one of the greatest African leaders in modern history.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. And when a complete scumbag like Hillary Clinton laughs at his death, that's one of the things that was like that was my red line. It got crossed then when Maidan started. I'm like, I'm already, I'm not sitting out this one. I'm going.
Mhm.
But after Gaddafi got killed, I climbed up on a 15-meter high billboard in Austin, Texas, one day with mountain climbing gear, technical mountain climbing gear, and there was a billboard um, on a main street in Austin, and it was an advertisement for the U.S. Marines, It said, "For honor and country, U.S. Marines." And I climbed up on that billboard one day right before dawn in probably the autumn of 2013. And I had a special deal made with the spray can where I could like really spray it big. And I wrote like 6-8 foot letters, "Fuck NATO," across this U.S. Marine billboard. And that's what I
You showed
did
me
for,
you showed
I
me the
showed you
picture
the
when I
pictures,
was
huh?
there. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm not kidding, bro. I really did that. And I felt, that I had at least given a salute to Muammar Gaddafi. And
Yeah, that
then
was a shame. That was a shame what happened. If it even
it
happened.
was,
You know that there's the rule of kings, which you alluded to with Epstein, where, what's
they
told
all
to
get
the
away.
public what's told to the public is one thing, but like there could be like either I've heard two theories. One that there's an island where even what's his name? Um the other African leader, the like also got killed a long time ago. Black guy. Um
Patrice
can't
Lumumba.
Lumumba, yeah, maybe Lumumba. That like there's an island off the coast of North Korea where like all of them just chill.
It could be, man. But
That they're all like
so,
living in peace.
but here now it gets to the good part about like the four horsemen of the apocalypse, bro. Okay,
Hmm.
so you got pestilence, you got famine, and then you got war. And a lot of good guys have died in this war, and I'm sure in all wars in general. But it's an extremely effective depopulation technique.
Yeah.
It takes all the dudes with any balls out of the equation because they're either dead or come back with, one or two legs blown off, blind, whatever, like that. And
Hmm.
then all that's left in the country, huh, a bunch of chicks and little kids. And then the dudes that come in after that can do anything they want with them.
So what you're saying is this kind of Slav on Slav violence that's been orchestrated in Ukraine is
No, 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 bro. I'm not saying like that at all. I'm saying that every war is like this. But
yeah,
here's the
yeah,
thing about, yeah.
but in this
And,
case, but
well, there's a lot of, there's a lot of Ukrainians that have been so brainwashed and defectified that the best thing you can do for them and for the world is just put them out of their misery.
yeah, there's been years of CIA propaganda pushing Ukrainians even from the 40s, if I'm not mistaken, from the
That's
like
exactly right. From the exact
the
end
late
of
40s.
the Second
Yeah.
World War, the CIA was already coming here. It's called Operation Dynamic.
I
Is the
don't know. I'll have to
CIA?
look it up.
Look it up, man. Look it up. Operation Dynamic. That was the specific CIA operation, as opposed to Operation Gladio
Hmm.
or Paperclip. This was dynamic, and it was specifically to arm, pay, equip, train, and direct what was left of the Bandera Ukrop Nazis collaborators after the Second World War. But here's what I'm going to say, dude, about the whole triad of famine, pestilence, and war. Okay, so if you look at things like I do and you understand that this isn't the only world and this isn't the only life, but what we do in this world and in this life, every single thing that we do while we're here determines where we go after this. Our bodies, they're like a car, and our souls are the driver. And when the car breaks down on the side of the road, the driver just gets out and starts walking on and goes ahead beyond the car, and maybe gets a different car later on down the road. Maybe not, I don't know. But I sincerely believe that I believe in God. I believe in life after this, after our bodies die. And I believe that what we do determines what happens in the next one.
Yep.
And so, as my godfather, Father Boris, said, the most important thing is to keep our own souls clean. And I put it like this, man. Our job is not to save the world. That's God's job, God's prerogative. Our job is to save our own souls by trying to save the world, by trying to help as many people as we can to come to the side of good and the side of light and the side of mercy. That's our job. And if we do that job, by doing it, we save ourselves.
Amen.
And that's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Yep.
Try and set a good example. And man, I think I've set a pretty good example, in my life. I've, like I said before, let those who have done more than me, try and school me, and I'll listen.
Yep.
If they've done more. But at the same time, I'm still trying very hard to try and become better. And, I really believe, having been in combat, even before I came here, so many times in my life, seconds or millimeters from death, or just, between the choice of a yes or no, or, like that, just so close to absolute death and walked away unscathed. It's because I believe in guardian angels, and I believe that I have a destiny, dude. I believe that I've been given a lot more chances to live than I ever deserved, because I'm still trying to wake myself up and to find the way to salvation, to redeem myself. And so that's it, dude. That's our job here, is to be the kind of guy that Jesus would want to hang out with.
Yep. What would the eternal? What would Jesus do? But
no, I don't mean it like
the...
that. I'm not talking about what would Jesus do. I'm saying who's the guy that Jesus would want to hang out with?
Yeah.
To be merciful, to be wise, to be kind, to be totally cool, to be generous, to be brave, to be willing to sacrifice your life
and
for a
to
good
keep your
cause.
word. And to keep your word.
And to keep your word, brother. And to keep your word.
That's quite important. Been 34 minutes. Shall we roll it out with the surprise music video from Texas?
Do it, bro.
For those of us, for those of the subscribers who've been sticking around to the end, here is an exclusive.
Вторая песня по-русски язык. Я писал на позиции на фронт на Спартак. И это песня для новый дом, добрый дом, новая Россия. на ключ акторов. Здесь сон смотрю мой новый дом. Добрый дом, Новороссия. Донецк, Луганск тоже. Макиевка, Ясновата. Ну да, от Харьков до Одесса это Новороссия. Донецк это классный город. Это мой новый дом. Брат меня крутой мужчины. И все есть красивые женщины. Добрый дом, Новороссия. Донецк, Луганск, Славянск, Горловка, Самогила. От Харьков до Одесса это Новороссия. Я работаю там на аэропорт. Набережна и монастырь. Нина заложила уши. Сколько братьев насекли. Про меня уже не слушай. Бог встретил наш герой. Моя кровь течет на эта земля. Но фашист уже лежит. Это наша земля, Новороссия. Донецк, Луганск тоже. Макиевка, Ясновата. От Харьков до Одесса это наша земля. Пришел Новороссия. Для друга есть зеленый чай. Но ты пришел к нам с войной. Мы превратимся в берегной. Это наша земля, Новороссия. Донецк, Луганск тоже. Макиевка, Ясновата. От Харьков до Одесса это Новороссия.